Today, we are discussing the architecture of the research paper. For many students, a 20-page PDF feels like a wall of text, but once you understand that every paper follows a standardized roadmap, you can navigate even the most complex data with precision. Our goal today is to move from passive reading to systematic analysis. Most academic writing follows the IMRAD structure: introduction, methods, results, and discussion. It's shaped like an hourglass. We start broad with the global problem, narrow down to the specific experiment, and then broaden out again to discuss what those results mean for the world. We begin with the abstract. This is your screening tool. It summarizes the entire study in 250 words or less. If the abstract doesn't align with your research goals, stop there. Next is the introduction. This isn't just a background, it is an argument. The author is trying to identify a gap, something we don't know yet, and state a hypothesis to fill it. As you read, ask yourself, is the problem they are solving clearly defined? The methods section is the most technical, but also the most important for validity. It is the recipe. A high-quality paper provides enough detail that another scientist could replicate the study exactly. Then we have the results. This is the objective truth of the paper. There should be no interpretation here. On the data, pay close attention to the tables and the figures. They often tell a more honest story than the text itself. Now we reach the discussion. This is where the authors interpret the data. They compare their findings to previous studies and explain why they matter. The conclusion wraps it up by suggesting future research. Finally, don't overlook the references. If you find a paper you love, its bibliography is your pre-vetted reading list for the rest of your project. Here, I'd like to share a simple but powerful framework for critically evaluating research. It consists of 3 key questions, what I call the replication test, the significance test, and the overreach test. First, the replication test, which focuses on the methods. We should ask ourselves, could I replicate this study based on the information provided? A well-conducted study should be transparent and detailed enough that another researcher can follow the same steps and obtain comparable results. If the methodology is unclear or incomplete, the reliability of the findings becomes questionable. Second, the significance test, which relates to the result. Here we ask, does this finding represent a major breakthrough, or is the sample size too small to draw meaningful conclusions? Not all statistically significant results are practically meaningful. We need to consider whether the evidence is robust, whether the sample size is sufficient, and whether the conclusions are justified by the data. Finally, the overreach test, which examines the discussion. We should ask, does the author claim the data proves causation, or do they appropriately describe it as a correlation? This is crucial. Strong research acknowledges its limitations and avoids making claims that go beyond what the data can support. In summary, by applying these 3 tests, replication, significance, and overreach, we can become more critical readers and better researchers. These questions help us distinguish between rigorous, trustworthy studies and those that may be less reliable. To conclude, stop reading research papers from page 1 to page 20. Instead, follow the roadmap, scan the abstract for relevance, audit the method for validity, and use the references to build your network of knowledge. By using this systematic approach, you aren't just a student, you are a critical participant in your field. Are there any questions on how to apply this roadmap to your specific area of study?